George Romack and I were at Ralph Miller's party that night because he'd received a threatening letter. And we tried to watch everyone who came anywhere near the high-pressure stock promoter. There was Bill Tidrow and Arnold Bowser, Miller's wife, Tina, and his engineer, Vincent Polesdale, Dr. Johnson, his personal physician, and finally, Seth Mullaney, who was having a drink with the threatened man. Only 6 who were anywhere near Miller that night, just before it happened.
They say a man only gets one chance to make it big. I don't hold with that. I'm opening the door for you again, Seth.
Well, it slammed shut in my face pretty hard before, Mr. Miller. I don't know whether my nose could take it a second time.
Didn't hurt your eyes any, did it?
How do you mean?
There's gold there this time. You saw it yourself. Thousands of nuggets, just sitting there like chubby little orphans, waiting to be adopted. And day after tomorrow, I launch a public sale of stock in this strike. Don't get left behind, Seth.
I'm sure of it.
It's used as a painkiller, isn't it?
Yes, and killer, period, when a strong enough dose is administered.
How strong?
10/40ths of a grain. Feeling any better, Mr. Miller?
You're a great help, aren't you, Smith?
You should be grateful you're alive.
To who? The man who tried to kill me?
Yes, be thankful he didn't know enough about the poison he used.
You know, I warned you about this yesterday. Man receives a murder note, it doesn't make sense for him to throw a big party the next day. Especially when you admit that half the people you invited could have sent this note.
I'm putting a big campaign into motion. Nothing gets in the way of that.
Your death would.
That's why you're here, isn't it? To see that that doesn't happen.
I can't without your help and information.
Like what?
Like why this note accuses you of murder.
Let me tell you something, Smith. When a man climbs to the top, he has to crawl over some others. That means some of them may fall.
You finished, Doctor?
Yes, however, I don't recommend any more shocks of this kind. I can't guarantee your heart will withstand them, Mr. Miller.
You tell him that, not me. 2 more days, Smith.
And then what?
Then I call in my own police force.
You bring any hired guns into town, Mr. Miller, they'll wind up in jail.
Now, Smith, when you're through talking to my wife, send her up here, huh? I want to share in her happiness, knowing that I'm still alive.
Dr. Johnson said my husband's out of danger.
Yes, ma'am, I suppose he is. He wants to see you.
Thank you.
What now? Pay your money and take your choice?
We only have to pick one out of 6, George.
What's the matter? You lose count, Smitty? It's more than 20 people here tonight.
Only 6 of them were close enough to Miller to poison that drink.
He had other drinks, though.
Fast as that drug works, he would have shown it immediately if he'd been poisoned earlier.
You pick him out, then, and I'll collar him.
It wouldn't help us very much. I want to talk to Miller again after he calms down. You stick here tonight. Tomorrow, when he gets to feeling better, you bring him into the office.
Smitty, you figure that note he got's telling the truth?
I don't know. If it is, we'll have to try to keep a murderer from being murdered.
You know, seems there's something unlawful about that.
Ride all the way in town just because he wants to talk, huh? We'll talk, all right. We'll talk about my plans for handling this affair.
Now, what's you getting so riled up at Smitty for, Mr. Miller?
Because I never could stand incompetence, that's why.
Now, if there's one thing I'd say Smitty never had too much of, that'd be it.
Take a look at this. I want Smith out here fast. Move!
Take it down, George.
You know, it's a darn good thing you didn't grow an inch taller during the night, Mr. Miller. The way this gun's angled.
Who else had a key to that tack room?
No one. This is the only key there is.
How many at that party would know about that?
I couldn't say. Most of those people have been out to my ranch many times before. What's this?
One of those 6 people poisoned your drink.
How do you know?
I was there, remember? No one else was close enough.
You got my wife's name on this list.
I gathered last night you're not too close.
You gathered right. We're about as close as our ages.
Well, poison is a woman's weapon, but rigging that gun, I don't know.
You don't know her. And sending that note would give her just about the kind of kick she likes.
That's a pretty big chance to take just for kicks.
You still got it up here. Maybe I did a killing, huh?
Did you?
I've had about enough out of you, Smith. If my wife sent that note, I'll find out. If any of these others did, they'll be taken care of, too.
5 of the people on this note are innocent. Any harm comes to any one of them, I'm going to hold you responsible.
You better get some action fast.
I could put you in jail and hold you in protective custody until the time limit runs out.
That's impossible. I'm launching a stock sale in a big mining venture. I'm not going to delay matters and discourage potential buyers.
One more day of him, and you can add my name to that list.
You just stick with him, George. Who knows? Maybe he'll let you in on a little of that gold stock.
That'll be the day.
I had made an intensive investigation of Miller's past. His life read like an open book, with the first chapters torn out. For 12 years, he'd been famous for his stock, land, and mining promotions. Before that, nothing. She's not here yet.
It is Vincent Posdale.
You know, that's real interesting. Miller's getting ready to start his campaign. The most important man in his pitch. The mining engineer is nowhere around.
What's about it?
If you wanted to kill Miller today and wanted to be miles away when it happened, how would you do it?
You mean a bomb?
Posdale's a mining engineer.
He knows explosives.
He's not here.
There's a bomb under here.
What is this? What's going on here?
There's a bomb right under you, Mr. Miller.
Get out of here, George. You too, Chief. Right now, Chief.
What kind is it?
I don't know, George. Looks like some sort of an acid reactor.
Smith, you've got to find the one who did this. Whoever it is must be loco. Chief, you've got to get him.
We will. You better stick with me, Mr. Miller. Looks like you were right about Posdell. You better go pick him up.
Hello, Smith.
May we come in?
Well, you're certainly welcome. I was just leaving for town.
That figures. You must have wanted Miller awful bad to be willing to blow up half the town to get him.
What's he talking about?
This bomb planted under that platform.
Where'd you say it was?
You ought to know.
Right under Miller's seat.
Whoever put it there made a serious miscalculation. This bomb could have never exploded. Not nearly enough nitric acid to eat through the plate. Whoever made this bomb didn't know much about acid.
Why weren't you at the sale, Posdale?
Miller knows why.
If you don't mind, I'd like to know why.
Well, that selling of the mining stock was a bit premature.
What do you mean?
It's my belief that the strike we made is all on the surface.
Did he salt that mine?
No, he didn't have to. Top was good enough. But he wouldn't let me take any more samplings. Yesterday, I told him to get another engineer.
And a new wife?
Just what do you mean by that?
Why don't you ask her to come out?
Stop it! Stop it!
Please, Smith, don't take her in. Miller will kill her.
He knows about you, too?
There's nothing to know. But he won't think so if you take us in together.
Wonder what he'll think if you take a trip together.
Well, sure I was leaving, but alone.
It's no use, Vincent. They'll find my things in the carriage.
Let's go.
Smith, I swear to you, neither of us had anything to do with trying to murder Miller.
So that's the way it is.
Hold it, Miller.
That's right, Smith. She's all yours now. Posdell, you not only wanted to kill me, you tried to ruin my good name, too.
I didn't send you that note, Miller.
You mean he hasn't confessed yet?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, you cost me a lot today. But it's going to cost you a good price, too. About 20 years. I hope you have a lot of fun together with all those bars between you. Where's Smith? Smith!
What is it now? Where'd you find it?
Under my door.
Well, it looks like your wife and Posdell are going to have a shorter sentence than you figured. They've been under arrest since noon yesterday.
And the other four were at that gathering, so one of them had planted the bomb. They would know they were endangering their own lives.
How can you be so sure which one of them did it? You said there were 6 people close enough to poison my drink. How do you know it was one of those 6?
If Smitty says there were only 6 people, you can take his word for it.
You ever meet any of those 6 people before you came to Denver?
Not that I remember.
Well, one of them sure remembers meeting you. Doesn't seem to like the memory very much.
$8 Giving himself just 3 hours to wipe out that memory.
Well, what are you going to do? Just leave them loose until 11 o'clock so they can kill me? Why didn't you arrest them? Throw them in jail.
That's exactly what we plan to do. I think you better stay right here, too.
That's all right with me.
Put Mr. Miller in cell 3, Jim. But the officer found no one at home at Bill Tedrow's house. The place was deserted. George Romack arrived at Mulaney's ranch to find that the owner had ridden off an hour before. Joe Forbes drew a blank at Arnold Bowser's place. And I'd had the same results when I'd called to bring in Dr. Johnson.
What do you mean you couldn't find them? You've got to find them.
Take it easy. I promise you'll have every possible protection.
Some protection.
I better stay in with him, Chief.
Shut that door! Shut that door!
Stay away from that window, if I were you.
Smith. A bomb. What if you planted another bomb?
The note said wherever you'd be, remember? How did he know you'd be here?
out there. There's police all around me. Armed police. It's impossible for them to get me. It's impossible. What time is it? What time is it?
11. Now I can tell you, Miller. It was September 12th, 19 years ago, on a train between Kansas City and St. Joe, Missouri. You and some others robbed the passengers. And you killed the uncle of a boy who was on that train. That boy grew up. He's about my age now. And about my guilt. He found you through that scar on your forehead.
It was you. It was you all along. No! No! No, don't kill me! I did it! I did it! I did it! I did it!
Well, Miller signed a full confession. Still doesn't know who it was he killed on that train.
I want to thank all of you for your patience, and especially you, Mulaney, for playing along with us.
You've no idea how hard it is to hide out in this town when the whole Denver police force is trying to arrest you.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, it worked, Doctor.
How did you know?
I checked into your background. I found out about that train robbery and your uncle.
What made you suspicious of me?
3 attempts on a man's life, and they all failed. Purposely.
I didn't want to kill him. Just frighten him into confessing. But I still don't see how you guessed it was me.
Who else around here would know more about chemicals and drugs than a doctor? Crenshaw was what you said about Miller's heart. After all I saw him go through, he suffered everything but a heart attack.
There's something I have to know. Who wrote that second note to Miller?
Well, after I became convinced that the man who wrote the first one was only trying to get Miller to confess, I decided to help. So I used the best weapon against a man possible. The man himself.
going on here?
Now, don't go nosing around where you don't belong, friend. I saw it first.
You got a name, mister?
Bewley. Ed Bewley.
Take it easy now. We're police officers.
You want to prefer charges, miss?
No. He really didn't do anything. I guess he thought I was...
All right. You got lucky this time. Now get out of here. Where are you headed, miss?
Laughlin. Charlotte Laughlin. The driver suggested the Denver House Hotel. You think that's all right?
Yes, that's fine. Come on, we'll walk you over there. I think you'll like it here.
Take this, Smitty. I'll get you the best room in the house.
Miss Laughlin, you said you came here looking for your mother.
Yes, that's right. Oh, I have a picture of her. The only one I have. Oh, I do hope you can help me find her. Isn't she beautiful?
She certainly is. When was this taken?
About 15 years ago. Have you ever seen her?
No. But she would look a lot different now. What makes you think she's in Denver?
She has to be. If she isn't, I don't know where else to look. You see, ever since I was separated from my mother 13 years ago, I've received a yearly allowance. After my guardian, Cousin Ada, died this summer, the money came directly to me. It was a draft on the Denver bank.
You know who sent it?
A man I'd never heard of before. His name is Clay Weatherby. I didn't know his address, of course, but I wrote to him general delivery, asking him if he knew anything about my mother. But I never heard from him.
13 years ago. You must have been about 5 years old then.
Yes. I was 5. Mother had just given me a doll for my 5th birthday.
What brought about the separation?
My mother and father were entertainers on the Mississippi riverboats. There was an accident of some kind, and my father was killed. That's when I was taken away to live with Cousin Ada. They said that my mother died later.
Apparently you don't believe that.
I never have. I've always known she was alive somewhere, and we'd be together again.
I think we can find out who's been sending the money. But don't build your hopes up too high. That'll prove your mother's still alive.
I know she is, Mr. Smith. I just know she is.
Well, your room's ready.
Thank you.
George, here's a picture of Charlotte's mother. Have you ever seen her?
No. But I know this song. You know that blind piano player over the Imperial Saloon? Jackie Rouge? Plays it all the time. Never heard it anywhere else, though. Funny.
Jackie Rouge. Name mean anything to you?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's the start anyway. Mind if I take this with me? I know you must be tired. You've had a long trip. Why don't you get some rest, and we'll look in first thing in the morning, see how you're making out. Good night.
Take your key, miss.
Miss, take kindly to some advice. You don't belong in Denver. No young girl does who's alone and unprotected. Go back where you came from, miss, before it's too late.
Refreshment for you, Jackie.
Oh. Thank you, friend. Any little tune you might like to hear?
Fact is, we do have some music with us, Jackie.
Well, mostly I play by ear. I'm afraid I'm a mite slow at sight reading.
Yeah, but I think you know this one, though. It's called Make Me Care.
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
Well, sure you do. I've heard you play it.
Maybe he doesn't know it by that name, George.
Oh, it goes something like this. La-dee-da-da-da, la-da-dum, la-da-da-da-dee-dee-dum.
You recognize it now?
Sure. I just never did know the name of that.
Tell me that you really care. Show me that you really want me. Make me care. Put your arms around me, honey. Hold me close and hold me tight. Oh, make me know it. Really show it.
Jackie, this Make Me Care tune. Where'd you pick it up?
Oh, I rattled around the country quite a lot before the lights went out. Picked up a good deal of music on the way, but I never could fit any one particular tune to any one particular place.
You ever travel on the Mississippi?
Yes. A time or two.
This tune was written for a singer by the name of Bella Laughlin. I hear she used to sing on the riverboats. Ever bump into her?
No, I never knew anybody by that name.
All right, Jackie. Thanks anyway.
Sure thing. Anytime.
Mr. Smith, I'm so glad you're here. After you left last night, a man warned me to leave Denver, or something bad would happen to me. Then during the night, someone tried to break into my room. I'm frightened.
This man who warned you, what did he look like?
He was big, with deep-set eyes, and a hawk-shaped nose.
You know anyone that fits that description?
No, I don't.
I'd know him if I ever saw him again.
The bank must be open by now. I want to see what they have to say about that draft. You be all right here for a little while?
I'm fine now. Thank you.
We'll meet you back here for lunch.
You're taking a real interest in this case, ain't you, Smitty?
I just feel sorry for the poor girl, that's all.
Yeah, sure. Think she's making it all up?
No, I don't think so, George. Someone wants her out of town, that's for sure, but right now I'd hate to guess why.
Maybe it's on account of her mother. Think she's still alive?
The girl believes it so strongly, she's about to swing me around to her way of thinking. I didn't really expect to find out much at the bank. I was agreeably surprised. A bank teller remembered Charlotte's bank draft and the man who purchased it. From the description he gave me, Clay Weatherby was the same man who had warned her to get out of Denver.
It's all so confusing. Why would this Clay Weatherby send me money and then try to frighten me out of town?
If we knew that, we'd have the answer to this whole riddle.
Do you think all of this has some meaning? That I'll find my mother soon?
Now, don't start getting your hopes built up too high. There is a possibility.
I'll never lose hope.
You think this all ties in together, Smitty? Weatherby warning, blind piano player. He knew your mother all right. He didn't want to let on to us that he did.
And that man Bewley last night. Wouldn't be surprised if he was mixed up in it. It all fits into a plan to get Charlotte out of Denver.
But why would he want her out of Denver? He's only a guard out at the Broderick place.
Why didn't you tell me this before, George?
I didn't think it was important.
Is it?
Hard to say. It just might be.
Broderick. Who is he?
Oh, he owns a ranch north of here. Keeps it guarded like a mint. You know he's got armed guards patrolling that place day and night? And some folks say the place is haunted.
George.
All right, so you don't believe in ghosts.
No, I don't. But it might be interesting to pay Mr. Broderick a visit. What's the matter? Thought I heard a horse ahead of us.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. Blaine country's like one big ambush.
Come from? You ain't wanted here.
Still, George.
Oh, don't worry, partner. I don't think I could if I wanted to. Beginning part.
Ball must have knocked him out.
All right, let's see what you're guarding so carefully around here.
This, Bewley? Who are these men?
They was trespassing, Mr. Broderick, and they jumped us.
You two get on back to your posts. Now, Bewley, I want to hear more about this. May I ask who you gentlemen are and what you're doing here?
We're detectives on the Denver police force. We want to talk to you about Charlotte Laughlin.
Yes, I knew she'd come. Eventually, of course. Though I tried to head her off. For her own good.
That why this monkey tried to scare her half to death last night in an alley?
Is that true?
I wasn't going to hurt her, Mr. Broderick, but you said you didn't want to stay in Denver.
You're through. I never want to see your face again. Now get off my land.
Charlotte told us her father was killed accidentally.
Bella's first husband was killed by Bella's own hand.
You mean she murdered him?
Not murder. It was self-defense. The man she married was an animal. It's the only way I can describe him. Any other woman would have left him 100 times over. But not Bella. Not until he began mistreating their child. Then she knew there was nothing else to do. But when she tried to leave, he threatened to kill her and the child, too. Thank you. Afterward, Bella knew she couldn't keep her daughter with her and submit her to the shame and humiliation of the gossip that could never be stilled. So she put her daughter in the hands of a guardian and came here with me. And she became my wife.
You've been paying Charlotte's support ever since?
Yes, my foreman took care of it for me.
And you sent him into town to warn Charlotte to get out of Denver?
Was that more cruel than letting the girl unearth all the old sorrows her mother tried to keep from her? Believe me, I only want what's best for the girl.
I think she's old enough to decide that for herself. Seeing her mother again might make up for all the rest of it.
Would it, Mr. Smith? Come this way, please. There she is, my Bella. Could she really make Charlotte happy now? Charlotte was told the truth about her mother, gentlemen. Bella Laughlin died 10 years ago. This has been a trying evening, gentlemen. Send her back home, please. Believe me, it's for the best. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hey, why are we stopping here?
I'm going to wait for a little while, and I'm going back there.
Why? Didn't you believe his story?
Oh, his story was fine. I bet you'd find it's even documented if you wanted to check the records.
So, what's the trouble?
Fellow Broderick. Gentleman through and through, isn't he?
Yeah.
Why didn't he invite us into the house? Cold night like this. Meets us on the front steps and gets us away as fast as he can.
Yeah. I wonder why.
That's what I'm going to try to find out when they go to sleep back there.
Hey, Smitty, Bucky's coming. Oh, be doggone. Broderick's foreman and Jackie Rouge.
Hold it. Right where you are. We could kill you, you know. Claim you forced your way in. We thought you were burglars.
Yes, you could. But you won't, will you, Mr. Broderick? You've done everything else to keep Bella Laughlin secret. But you're no murderer. Now, will you take us to Bella?
Is that you, Mr. Broderick?
Yes, Jackie.
She's nice and quiet tonight, Mr. Broderick. She's been telling me about her little girl again.
She's been like this ever since that terrible night 15 years ago. She hasn't changed since then. Will always be like that.
Do you think that's right, Broderick? For you to decide that alone? Don't you think she ought to be given a chance to come back to the real world? And back to her daughter, Charlotte?
Charlotte? Did you come to see my baby? Isn't her hair wonderful? So soft. Will it always be this fine? I wonder. Will it always be like angel's hair?
I had to keep her like this, don't you see?
I still don't think it's right. Give it some thought, would you?
What will I say to her? I'm afraid I'll say the wrong thing.
I don't think it'll make a bit of difference at first, till she gets used to having you back again.
Mama, don't you know me? It's Charlotte. It's your Charlotte, grown up. Mama. It would be a long road back to reality for Bella Laughlin. But maybe, with her daughter's help, she'd make it.